Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I had a subscriber point out to me something because I don't always get a chance to watch much other fitness YouTube unless someone points something out to me. And he wanted me to look at Tiger Fitness, at what Marc Lobliner had said recently about joint health and joints and training and everything. And I'm pretty shocked. I went and checked out the video, watched it, and I stopped about a minute from the end. I just heard enough of the bullshit, and I really felt like I needed to address it. I didn't get a chance to get around to it till now because I've been busy all morning down at the range. So, let me just skip all that intro. Let me just go straight into this. Let me get in my places. And I'm going to have to stay cool on this one because what I heard really upset me, that Marc is talking that sort of stupidity. And this is someone I used to do some business with and get along with. But I clearly see at this point that I really made a mistake getting involved with this person as far as even doing business with. And it's something that I do regret that I did, that I got involved with any supplement people at all. Shame on me. I know a lot of people hate me for that sometimes, but you know what? You guys are right. I was wrong. I shouldn't have done anything related to any supplement companies, and I will never, ever do so again. A lesson learned. But Marc jumped in, and he made quite a few statements talking about training and joints hurting and everything else. And first of all, the things they tried to say is that using moderate weights with really high reps and volume is really good to lubricate the joints. All right, that's actually nonsense. It doesn't lubricate your joints at all. Good diet, drinking lots of water, being hydrated lubricates your joints in addition to certain drugs that lubricate your joints. And that's one of the things that really miffed me because he also went into something else about what he does for his joint pain. And I'm not going to throw Marc under a bus because I'm not that type of person. But I will say that we have had conversations about what our preferred methods are for lubricating the joints. And they don't involve anything that you can get without a prescription, legally. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm going to go no further. But you guys get the idea there. And yeah. But the thing that he said in addition to that, not only said that, oh yeah, that'll sort it, and it won't. Lifting heavy doesn't hurt your joints any more than doing high volume does. I mean, they can both have their problems. But he made a statement that, joint pain just kind of comes with training. And that if you train regularly or train hard, that you're going to experience joint pain. It just comes with it. And you need to just be a man and not be a pussy about it. And he said that if you can't live with joint pain, that you need to find something else to do with your life other than training. That training is not for you. You know what? That is the stupid sort of hardcore bullshit that destroys this industry and causes it problems. The idea that if you don't feel pain and injure yourself, because if your joints hurt, you're injured, that you shouldn't train. Training shouldn't be a part of your life. You know what? Everyone should train. So, Marc, fuck you for that. Everybody should train. Every human being on earth should be lifting weights because of the health benefits. You know what? Proper weight training increases the longevity of your joints. It can actually prevent you from getting joint pain later in life. It's because people don't know how to train that their joints hurt. But all the other health benefits, bone mineralization, stopping osteoporosis, reducing cancer rates by 50%. Lifting weights reduces cancer by 50%. And he wants to talk about this hardcore nonsense of, oh, you shouldn't reduce your cancer by 50% if you can't put up with joint pain. No, if you're having joint pain, it's because you're a fucking idiot who doesn't actually know how to train. I'm going to repeat that again. Let me repeat that again. If you train all the time and you've had years to learn how to train and you get joint pain as a result of training, you're a fucking idiot who shouldn't be writing your own programs and you shouldn't be training other people. Your joints shouldn't hurt. In fact, on a properly written program using proper balanced movements to where you don't develop muscle imbalances and you do the exercises correctly and you deload correctly, your joints shouldn't hurt. Your joints should be healthier, 2 or 3 times healthier than when you started lifting, even 10 years or 20 years into it. Your joints should be healthier and pain-free as a result of lifting. Anyone who tells you otherwise, you need to run. They're an idiot. They don't know how to train. Their joints shouldn't be hurting. The diabetes end of it, though, too, reduces diabetes rates by 70 to 80%. So people who don't want to put up with joint pain because they don't want to listen to idiots who don't know how to teach them how to train correctly, that they should increase their chance of getting diabetes 4 or 5-fold. rather than training. I mean, what sort of moronic nonsense is this? Weight training is one of the healthiest things you can possibly do if it's done correctly. The health benefits are absolutely enormous. And the idea that someone would tell people that they have to put up with pain to get these health benefits, and that if they don't want pain, they shouldn't do it, is just absurd. It's a disservice to the fitness community. It's a disservice to people's health. And I guess I should expect that from someone who makes their living selling supplements and fart powders and test boosters and BioGrow and other bullshit that doesn't work. I'm just upset that I ever did business with this person at all after hearing this. When I see what sort of advice he's giving to people and telling people that they need to hurt. And on top of that, then he's saying what he does is he uses knee sleeves and elbow sleeves. Again, if you are using crutches like this because you hurt from lifting, if you're using crutches like this because you hurt from lifting, it's because you don't actually know how to train. And if you use Band-Aid fixes like sleeves and wraps hoping to keep the joint warm, the joint's already warm. You know what? Lifting weights warms your joints. They're already at your body temperature. They're inside your body. And you know what? As soon as you start moving them under load, they warm up on their own. You don't need wraps to trap heat in your joints. The wraps and the sleeves are there sometimes because they relieve the pain because they numb it a little bit and you don't feel the pain once they tighten up a little bit. They restrict blood flow to the joint. And therefore, you're not feeling the natural pain that you should be feeling as a result of the inflammation you're causing with bad training methods. So what sleeves and wraps actually do in the long term, they cut off the pain response that you're supposed to be getting by training incorrectly. When your joints and stuff are hurting and your tendons are hurting, that's a sign that your training is wrong. There's something wrong with your training. There's something wrong with either the way you're performing the exercise. There's something wrong with your programming. Your joints and connective tissue are not recovering correctly and they're being stressed in an unsafe manner. That's what that pain represents. And by blunting the pain response by using objects to stop it, what you eventually do is you snap something. You injure yourself because you keep pushing because you've now blunted the pain in there by wrapping up a joint that shouldn't be wrapped. And you know, again, as I've said before, people who use wraps and sleeves because they have pain in their joints from their training, these are people that you need to be very, very leery of from getting your advice, because these are people who are hurting themselves and they don't know how to not hurt themselves, so they use a Band-Aid fix. And that Band-Aid fix invariably allows them to continue to do the improper training that's hurting them to begin with. And eventually they build up scar tissue from it or they snap something. And just like the guy he was talking to, you know what? I've snapped one thing in my body, my bicep, and I've admitted what I did wrong. I did it over a decade ago. I've owned up to it and said I trained incorrectly and it was my own stupid fault because I didn't do the things that I knew I was supposed to do with my training to not get injured. It's my own fault. Well, the guy he had on there interviewing him, giving advice, also was talking about how many different things he's snapped. 4, 5, 6 injuries already. I mean, how many times do you have to hurt yourself before you realize you don't know what the fuck you're doing? Stop and think about that. How many muscles do you have to rip or tendons do you have to rip off the bone and injure before you finally step back and say, hey, I really don't know what the fuck I'm actually doing. Maybe I should learn something different because I really don't know what I'm doing. And if I'm going to hurt myself really bad and I'm going to hurt other people giving them advice. And this, again, this whole hardcore idea of no pain, no gain. And at the end of the day, these people shouldn't be listened to who are telling you this. Weight training shouldn't cause you pain. There can be some discomfort from a pump when you're lifting. Okay, there can be some fatigue that sets in and some muscle burn that happens from training. That's normal. But if it's causing you actual pain, you're doing something wrong. That's your body telling you something, and that includes joint pain. Your joints shouldn't be hurting from lifting. Your joints hurt from having muscle imbalances. Your joints hurt from being sedentary and not training. And people who train and train correctly, who have good muscle balance, use proper programming, proper technique, their joints should feel better than an untrained person. They should actually have less joint pain than most people their age walking around on the street. Training is good for your joints. It's not supposed to hurt them. And if it's hurting them, it's because you're doing stuff incorrectly. You're learning stuff from bodybuilders who don't know what they're doing. and you're going to hurt yourself. And again, him giving this sort of advice, all Marc is doing, and this other guy he had with him, all they're doing is increasing injury rates among their listeners. And I feel really bad for the young kids who are listening to this who are going to hurt themselves. It's just mind-boggling that he would give this sort of advice, that you're supposed to feel some joint pain and you shouldn't do one of the healthiest things in the world if you can't put up with joint pain caused by incorrect training. No, how about people just learn to train correctly and stop listening to these numbskull bodybuilders who literally seem to have no idea what in the hell they're doing, and they just hurt themselves and hurt other people. And again, I feel really bad for the young kids who are listening to this and getting their advice, and they're thinking they're supposed to feel joint pain. They just do all this stuff, their joints hurt, and they'll just do what he said and put some sleeves on them. And since it doesn't hurt when they train with the sleeves on, everything's going to be okay, right up until they snap their shit up. So, yeah, this sort of video, it's reminds me again why I don't watch YouTube fitness, and why I really don't go check out other channels and what they have to say, because it literally hurts my brain, and I feel bad for people who are taking this horrific advice most of the time. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.